Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, and welcome to Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. Today we're painting up the shrine to Sabah, the first mutant, he who came before all, the greatest, the latest, the mightiest. Apocalypse! That's what I'm talking about. I've already base coated with an airbrush. You don't have to use an airbrush. But with a mix of, what was my colors? I got them written down. Burnt orange and gold brown from Pro Acryl. And going from there, we'll establish some dry brushing. We'll do some glazing. We'll dry brush again. Then we'll do some other colors and we'll just have some fun. And I'll show you the size of this thing compared to some other miniatures. Because that's what y'all really want to know. How big is it? How big is it? We're about to find out. Are you ready, Ann?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Are we kicking it to the mini can?
Kick it to the mini can.
Or the maxi can, in case Cam.
Kick it to the mini can. That was my song today. All right, so like I said, I've got a mix, 50-50 burnt orange and gold brown. I did it through the airbrush. I like going through the airbrush because you get these transitions. You get these like transitional zones, which I really like. It's a sort of a fakey shadow. This is the Shrine to Sabah. You can see I left the backs off here because I want to paint this like super, super, super cool. And then I will attach these later. Right, these little cool fins. I just want to make sure I can get down in there and get all this stuff painted easily. You could also leave these parts off if you so felt. I don't really worry about that as I've painted this before. All this stuff can be pretty squirrely whirly and not worry about it. So the next step I want to do is I'm actually going to use a color you might not think about when you think about painting terrain. I'm going to use Pro Acryl's Dark Warm Flesh. That's right, I'm using a flesh tone. This is the skin shrine to Sabah. And I really want almost all that paint off that brush. What's everybody talking about today? I'm seeing Sunspot is one of the coolest miniatures AMG has ever done, flying in-flight miniatures. Yeah, I agree, he's pretty rad. After loving and painting, playing Shatterpoint Legion, Christ Portal is my next big spin. Heck yeah. What do we got? Five squad packs behind. Get caught up. Get caught up. 2 boxes of range troopers. Products not showing up. Oh, well, there you go. This Ann's right here. Ann will take that note. Oops, don't do that. So these are radiating out, these lines, so I wanna go in a circle and sort of build up my colors and see as this dark area that my airbrush created, I put a little highlight over that with this and I create like a nice transition and blends that dark to light. Nice and easy, smooth and breezy. Lemon squeezy. Just want to get some nice. Make sure you can see the little details. You just finished up your Deadpool and Bob, so now you have all horsemen available and Bob. Never forget Bob. He makes it spicy. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to use Dark Warm Flesh. And I did one of these before, and I was looking through the Monument paint line, and I was trying to find a color. I like the base color that I airbrushed, and I was like, ooh, that's pretty nice. Like, I dig that. And then I was like trying to find a color to do the highlight with, right? Start blending everything together, like tying it all up. And, you know, I was looking at ochres and stuff like that, like the browns. And I was just like, none of this works. None of this works. I don't like any of this. It's not that I don't like the paint. It just wasn't working for this in my mind, in my brain meats. And I just happened to run my hand across Dark Warm Flesh, which was in a different place because I'd used it on another project. And so it wasn't where I was looking. And I just kind of ran my hand over it, and I was just like, whoa, 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 what's this color? And I was like, Dark Warm Flesh, like, that's the right color. Like, weird. And so I did a little test spot, and I was like, yes, that's it. Like with that 50-50 mix, burnt orange, gold brown, and Dark Warm Flesh over top, I was like, that's the stone look I'm looking for, right? So I think that's one of those things that it's important to remember is, you know, paint names always get a name that's like, you know, chutney blue. You're like, what the heck is chutney blue? Or, you know, parsnip surprise. And you're just like, I don't know what that means. And, you know, a lot of paint names are flesh named to give painters like a starting point for like when they're like, I'm looking to paint skin. Skin is a very important and a sticking point for many painters, especially when you're beginning. And so like it's nice to have those colors like predetermined, like this is your flesh tone. This is a starter flesh tone, right? For Caucasian flesh or dark flesh or, you know. First People's flesh or whatever, right? And it's nice to have those names, but at the same time, like sometimes those colors, just because it says it's a flesh color, it can be used for other things. So sometimes look past the label. Look past the label. That's just good advice in life, right? Look past the label. Just because cereal says it's for breakfast doesn't mean you can't have it for dinner. Oh man, it's almost time of year for my favorite cereal, and now I'm gonna have to order some. We're just taking our time. We're in no rush. We're in no rush. We want nice, gentle, delicate dry brush. Just build it up. Just build it up. Seeker knows. Finding a white that matches itself on any line. I'm not sure I'm following. Sorry. Maybe it's because I'm painting. It was too oblique. Look at that, it's coming together. Oh, between. Oh, there's no such thing. No such thing. I stick with this bold titanium. I like this heavy body stuff that Procural's making. Like this bright ivory is really my favorite white. But they have this bold titanium and they have a heavy body that I've really taken a shine to. Where's that at? Heavy titanium. This is from the Max Segswish. Good guy, Max. Heavy titanium white. I really like that one. Real consistent. Super usable for lots of things.
What does heavy body mean? Is that just the name of the color or a different type of?
So it's thicker and more pigmented, right?
I see.
So it's just a heavier. It's literally like just a heavier paint, right?
Does that make it more ideal for like dry brushing and weathering and stuff?
It's really good for dry brushing, but also I personally like thick paint because I can thin paint, but I can't thick it. So I like really thick paint, and just that has a really nice punch and coverage that's super nice. So I really like it for those reasons, right? It covers, I can thin it down, I don't have to fight it. It's super consistent. Just I've only had like maybe 2 bottles, right? You don't use a lot of paint. Or you shouldn't use a lot of paint. I don't use a lot of paint. And I paint a lot. But it's been super consistent. I like it. I like it a lot. I love these little like textury bits there in the stone. It was nice that we were able to get those, and they're real subtle, but man, it just makes the terrain look super good. Especially with a little light dry brush, so you accentuate all that. Mm-hmm. Blessed be.
So when you were considering what all the pieces of the terrain should be for this apocalypse themed release, I guess where did you start and how did you get to selecting the pieces that you wanted to make?
We knew so the very first thing we kind of concepted was actually not a drawing. We knew Apocalypse needed that like big centerpiece that we had done for Thanos, right? Like Thanos and Apocalypse kind of stand as like these hallmark villain characters, and we'd already established like those sort of ideas and philosophies with Thanos of how we want the terrain to interact with some of these characters. So like did I just pop that off? I sure did. I just popped that right off. My glue. I did not put enough glue on there. Or I bopped it too hard. I probably bopped it too hard. So we knew we wanted this like sort of big centerpiece, and we came up with the rejuvenation chamber. And well, the first thing was like actually just I built a sarcophagus for Apocalypse out of foam core and tape and blue tack and like a blown up Thanos print. Like we just had a blown up Thanos, because as you can see, our Apocalypse is gigantic. Can you see that? Like, oh, I'm Cyclops. I'm gonna beat your butt. So I built this sarcophagus out of foam core and tape, as like this idea, and then it's just like, okay, well, it didn't really work. It didn't quite capture the essence of the character. And so we started concepting, and we got to the rejuvenation chamber, which people have seen as well. It's bigger, it's more dramatic. It's got the cool, like, mutants in the vials. You know, who knows what kind of terribleness Apocalypse is, perpetrating upon them as he forces mutations onto them. And you know, it really kind of blew up and became this really epic piece. And then we needed stuff to go around it, right? And like, so everything kind of filled in around it, and this little shrine was sort of next, which is sort of where the first sarcophagus became. Like this actual shape kind of became my foam core shape, kind of became this. And then we got all the little statues and all the little pylons and all that stuff, and it all just kind of came together, right? You look at like the needs of the table now, right? You start looking at like, okay, you got this big rejuvenation chamber, you got this shrine which is size 4. Spoilers. You need some size 2s, you need some size 1s, and so you start figuring out, well, what is a size 2 with all this other stuff. So we kind of started at the big point, worked our way down to the smaller stuff, and it really just worked out. And I'm real excited about this terrain set, and also some of the ideas that are coming out around it. I won't get too into that. You know, if the ultimate encounter sort of uses it, you know, I'm just saying, that'd be pretty cool.
Well, it's been really awesome for anybody who's, you know, curious to see sort of the first ideas for, you know, folks out there making tables for some of the press copies that were sent out. We're starting to see those in the MCP community page on Facebook. So that's a great place to be, to see kind of just the epic scale of what all these things look like together. Because it really does take over the tabletop.
It truly, truly does. I think that's pretty good for my dry brushing, actually. We're going to switch it up now. So all we've done is we've laid on a base layer and we've dry brushed. We used an airbrush. You don't have to use an airbrush, but we used an airbrush to good effect to create some built-in shadows, which is really, really great. I love built-in shadows. I love very simple shadowing on terrain, right? You don't have to go crazy. You can get nice, subtle shadows on terrain. And I need a chunky brush. We're actually just going to use this brush here has a blue tape around it. The reason this tape is on this brush is this is my brush I use to grab paint out of pots or mix up and mix, right? So this is a bad paintbrush. This is a paintbrush that should never be used, and we're going to use it. So I'm going to get some blue, or not blue, I'm going to use purple. Why use blue when you can use purple, I always say. Trying to paint a bright orange, do you base coat with a reddish brown like the same color you're using there? Ooh. TK, that's great. If I'm trying to paint a bright orange, what do I usually do? Actually, I usually lay a red down. Or a yellow, right? If you lay it, here you go. Yellow. Everybody's like, yellow, but I can't get a good coat with yellow. Of course you can't, right? Yellow has very spread out pigments, right? So let's say you lay yellow down. Patap. And my fingers are the pigment. Can you see my hand? Okay. Let's say this is the yellow. My hand is the yellow, and my fingers is the yellow. And in between the pigment, you can see the base coat, which is a terrible base coat. You should never have a patterned base coat. But then you have this nice bright yellow. Like let's say we use warm yellow or golden yellow from Procro. And then you lay orange over top of it. What happens, right? Now, when you look through the pigment of the orange, what does the orange see? Yellow. And now you can't see the base coat, right? So anywhere that isn't a full coverage of orange is yellow, and that just makes the orange even brighter. So if you do a yellow, I like yellow a lot or reds, either one, depending on what I want. But if I'm going to lay down bright yellow and then orange. That's what I'm going to do. That's my move. As excited I am for this kit, the castle is on my list for a full table. 100%. I may need to chop up some castle bits to make some additional castle bits that like kind of scatter around my castle. So I'm getting 2 castles, but I'm a madman. With little self-control. That's a very, very bright purple. So I want to just kind of glaze it in. Real subtle like. And just add more water if you need be. See how this is giving that like tinge of purple now? So this is purple ink and some of the Pro Glaze wash medium. Lots of water. Will this dry in time for him to do the next layer? Tune in next week. No, we're not going to tune in next week. We're going to get it done today. Right, definitely want this down in the crevices, but I kind of want it all over as well. But I want to focus on the shadows. So I'm just dipping in water real quick and then wicking away the water and then dragging this purple around and then maybe dipping back in water to drag it around again. Get a nice, where I want it. I'm controlling the paint. The paint does not control me. I'm the boss of my own destiny. Don't tell my partner that. I do what I want. I'm going to have cereal for dinner tonight. You don't know. I'm a madman. See that little purple tins there? Num, 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 num. Purple and yellow, right? And this orangey color is very much in that yellow family. That was a really terrible brush, but that's okay. Like I said, we're just tinging it up. Does not gotta be perfect. Does not at all gotta be perfect. My wife wants me to get 2 castles. One painted normal, the other painted up as Dracula's dream house. Yeah. The Dracula's Mojo Dojo Casa house.
That's such a fun idea. I need those both to happen, and I need for them to be in front of my eyeballs.
Here's the cool part. You can do it.
Yep.
No, you can.
No, I received it in the way I think you intended. Which
no,
is...
I was intending it. You can do it. You have control over your destiny. Paint 2 castles. No one's stopping you. My wallet will prevent that. That's funny. Look, the wife wants what the wife wants.
And you know what they say? Happy wife, happy Mojo Dojo Casa Dracula's tomb.
I prefer happy spouse, happy house.
You know what? That's great. I love that.
Takes two to party in this dance. If anybody has a Mojo Dojo Casa house, it's Dracula. Let's be real. Let's be real. Well, and probably Apocalypse. He seems like that'd be very important to him. He's a very dramatic fella. Look at that beautiful purple tinge. Oh, it's so good. I love it so much. You can barely see it. Can y'all see that even on screen? It's real subtle, right?
Just barely, like more towards the bottom, I think we can see it.
Where it just kind of gets accentuated. Like you see that, right? And then just stains it up. Like I said, we focus toward the shadows where that airbrush kind of predetermined everything, but like, you know, you kind of want to get a little bit of everywhere as well. That's fine. That's fine. It's all good. There's no mistakes. You're just painting terrain. There's no mistakes here. Just paint little miniature dojo houses. All right, I'll tell everybody something fun. So sometimes when we're concepting stuff, we don't have names for it, right? Especially terrain. Terrain usually has no names until way late in the game. So, you know, we come up with shapes and what they, you know, kind of what they are, right? But this one was called, all through the concepting process, was apocalyptic taco house or taco shed. Oh, that's what it was. The Apocalypse Taco Shed. And every train set has has at least one piece during the early concept phases where there's at least one thing called a taco shed. So it's like that's just Cosmic Taco Shed. You know, that's the Apocalypse Taco Shed. And then eventually it gets like, you know, down the pipe, and we kind of get a vibe for what it really is, and you know, we just actually name it, right? Like we were like, oh, it should be a little shrine, like a little building. We need a little building for 65mm characters to stand on, but it doesn't need to be a giant building. Great, okay, a little shrine. I'm like, okay, so where are we at on the taco shed? We just kept calling it the taco shed. Apoca tacos. The best tacos on this side of chaos. We don't serve chimichangas at Apoca Tacos Taco Shed. You gotta go to the other guy for that. Try to talk our local law enforcement to replace squad cars with taco trucks? Oh, yeah. That'd be great. I'm like speeding, and I hear the boo, whoop, boo, whoop. And I'm like, pulled over. And they're like, do you know you're speeding? I'm like, I do. And they're like, here's a ticket. And I'm like, dope. And then they're like, would you like a burrito? And I'm like, yes, I would. Why, thank you. Yes, I would. Extra guacamole, please. Okay, we got a layer of purple on. Now I want to switch to magenta. You were planning on painting my chimichanga truck with an apocalypse color scheme? I love it. Oh man, now I've already painted my taco truck a long time ago on stream. If anybody remembers, anybody here from that time? Does anybody remember that?
Why, when I was a boy, I painted the taco truck on stream.
When I was a wee lad, I painted a taco truck on stream. No one remembers. Time has passed.
No one goes that way anymore.
But now I kind of went like a void taco truck, like just a wrecked, beat up taco truck of the void. That'd be fantabulous. I'm gonna commission Tony to do it for me. T-Bone! There's just little kisses of magenta. We don't need a lot of magenta. We got so much purple. Yeah, just a little here and there. No big deal. No big deal. MBD. MBD.
Now, when you're deciding on the placement for the magenta, is that just still for shadow, but on the higher points?
That's all heart.
Yeah, it's just where you feel it.
It's all vibe. Like,
Gotcha.
just kind of where I want it. There's no wrong place, right? It's just where do you want a little magenta? Where did you not get enough purple? Where are things not reading? So it's sort of, I don't want to say arty, but a little arty. I don't like to get too
Personal
arty.
taste.
Yeah, just where would you like a little spitter spatter of the magenta? Maybe on this corner. Let's stretch it out. Why not? Stretch it all the way over. Tie it down there too. That's good. Maybe a little in this corner here on the top. Maybe that was too much. Who knows? I'm not saying I do, obviously. A little stretch out there. Nice, nice, nice. All right. We gotta let those washes dry before our next step. But while we're waiting on that to dry, I'm gonna take a little transparent yellow, not fluorescent. Do not want fluorescent, I want transparent yellow. Is that open? Oh, there we go. I've been doing a little trick with my monument paints. Okay, so after I get the paint out, I close it up and I swizzle in the water and then I dry the tip off. And let me tell you that has changed the world for me. Definitely. I want a little transparent yellow. Mix that up. So you can see I did a layer of the, what's it called? Bright ivory over the flames. So now over the bright ivory, I'm going to do the pale or the transparent yellow. Because I want those fires to burn hot. Get it between them little stones. There's like little stones. I guess they're like charcoal briquettes, who knows? Little charcoal briquettes down there. Lots and lots and lots. Get a good coverage of that translucent, transparent yellow. And that's got to dry. So many dry steps. So many dry steps. If Apocalypse makes good barbecue, I'll be his horseman. The horseman of the sauce. All right. Got some little statues here. I want to paint up as well. I'm going to use this dry brush. Do I want these to be stone or black? What do you think, chat? Should we make them like onyx, or should we match them to what we're doing on the shrine? I'm going to take a drink of my drink while you all deliberate. I'll hum a song while I take a sip too. See if can I do that? Can you do that? Nope, you can't. Lessons learned. What do you think, chat? Onyx, onyx, that's two onyx. Onyx, contrast, that's not a color. I think onyx is the winner. What do you think? Are we still saying onyx? Is it still onyx? Onyx, but the base matches the temple. There you go. Jade. There's always someone. There's always someone. So I'm going to use pure downward strokes. That is not bright enough. I need some, we were just talking, oh, you know what? I'm going to use this. I'm going to use white blue. Boop. Just a little, and I didn't do my little trick, did I? Sure didn't. I just sat there and showed everybody a trick and then didn't do it. I don't know if you can see that. He's so wee. This statue is actually the size of a normal character. Because that's how Apocalypse rolls. He's like, what about my tiny statues? And they're like, sir, that's an 8-foot statue. He's like, yeah, my tiny one. That's my tiny statue. My tiny statue's 8 foot. We could put a little green in this. Like that's always a possibility to like throw a little green in there. You can do little tricks like that when you're painting. So you can paint it. We'll do it like this, and then we can maybe do like a little green glaze. Ooh, that'll look pretty slick.
I'm going to come in there and just focus the camera down so they can see more of what you're doing.
Roger Dodgers. Green or purple mixed into the onyx would be nice. So hard for me to put color into black without just looking black, though. Yeah, it's kind of like what I'm going to do here is sort of like overbrush the color. So I'm going very, very high, and then we're going to use like a green ink or a purple ink to glaze it, probably green ink, and then we'll go back and we'll, after that dries, you highlight it again, right? So it's a little building up process. You know, once you start building up colors, it's nice to actually build them up, right? It's a process that you have to trust, and it's not just I put green into the black and then I highlight. It's sometimes it's a little more nuancy, and that's why we're here. We're here to learn. I'm here to learn and grow. Woo! That was spicy. That was a spicy one. That was spicy. That was too much. Sometimes you get a spicy one. Like a shishito, right? What is it, 1 in 10? Just rips open time and space in your mouth. Oh man, I love shishitos. Totally eat shishitos all day. This dry brush is coming in at like a little bit of angle. It's a little more white. Ooh, excuse me. The cough. Quick question about dry brushing. If you go too heavy and lose the original color, how do you go about reclaiming that color? Quickly grab a wet brush and wick it away. Just grab a wet brush, your little grabby brush as I call it. Just dip it in some water, in your paint water, and just get in there and just get rid of it. Even if you get rid of stuff that you didn't want to get rid of, it's better. Just eradicate it. Wet brush, clean it up, let it dry, and then just go back to dry brushing. Because I would personally way rather try to go back and fix a few things that I didn't need to fix than just have one whole bad thing happen. Spicy little tiny little apocalypse shrines. Oh my gosh, we only got 10 minutes. Great, googly mooglies. Let's do our burnt orange and gold brown. Burnt orange. Gold brown, come on, where's gold brown? I didn't pull it out. Drab nabbits. Golden, 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 nope. Golden, 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 nope, that's warm. It's warm. It's golden brown. Gold brown. That's dark brown. Gold brown, nope. Gold brown. Where's my gold brown? Tony stole it. Gold? No, that's gold, not gold brown. Okay, definitely. I need to get a paint rack in here. Definitely need a paint rack in here. So I can see the labels. We might have taken the golden brown in the other room for a reason. Maybe we were using it for something, because I'm not seeing golden brown anywhere. Oxide, warm flesh, dark armor. This is the best part of the show. Well, it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna make it work. Let's do a little sample. We're gonna just make up a fakeness. Just to get started. Little paint smash action. Just smash it in. That's all you're trying to do. It's that first layer, so it's all going to level out on its own. Paint levels itself. So we're just going to smash it on there. Get right up next to the feet, but not on the feet. Yeah, we'll do. I think that's going to look really good when it's tied together. Okay.
Would you mind moving the one you just set aside back into the four? Thank you. There we go.
Okay. Now I'm going to go back to our dark warm flesh. And dry brush again.
Are we going back to the shrine?
Back to the shrine.
All right.
We only got 9 minutes, so it's gonna take me a minute to get all the Get the paint ready. Did we use this brush? We did. No, we didn't. Scrub away, mop it up. Yep, that's what I use it for. I'm in the habit now of dry brushing my thumbnail before I touch the brush just to make sure I'm not. Yeah, absolutely. Like a little flip flap across that knuckle works really great for establishing, making sure you're not. I mean, that's kind of like my thumb is always like I call it my paint sharpener. So I'm like testing that flow. In addition, I'm making sure that the tip of the brush has not got clogged. Right, the tip of the brush might get clogged, and you drag it across your thumb, and it breaks it out and gets that flow going again. So now we're just going to dry brush that dark warm flush right back over everything. And so what that's going to do is tie all those colors back together. Right, it's going to tie those purples, the magentas, the browns, everything all right back together. And make a smoother situation. Sort of repicks all those highlights. One more time. You could go a little lighter even if you wanted to. You could throw a little, you know, maybe you could throw a little bit of that white blue in there. Let's try that. Let's see what happens. I love just seeing what happens. Yeah, that looks really good. And then the next step will be picking out all the dark areas with coal black and working on those. Which of course we're not going to get to today. We only got 5 minutes. But that would be my next step after this. So like I want to do the interior like segments or maybe these wall plates with coal black. And then some dark grays to like build it up. And then I'll work on this. This I usually do silver with like a purple or magenta glow. It's whatever color glow you want. Maybe you want like a turquoisey blue or a, you know, electric yellow, right? It's really up to you. There's no wrong color. Zazzy. So close to done on this one part. There you go. Behold! A true battle of the ages. What? You gotta zoom out? Oh. Battle of the ages. That's what I'm talking about. But anyways, the whole gist is with a couple dry brushes and glazes, We get some pretty nice looking stone effects for your apocalypse terrain. And any terrain, right? It's just a good quick way to establish some volume and colors, and just get your terrain on the table. Don't you think? I think. Are we ready, Ann? We're ready. All right, remember every Tuesday and Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we hang out right here on Twitch at Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. We will not be streaming next week, right? I'm just going to give them a heads up. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
They should know. They need to know.
And in case anybody forgets, there will be social that reminds you when we're back.
Yeah. Speaking of social, for all the latest news, information, and announcements from Atomic Mass Games, you should check out Twitter and or Instagram. Follow us there. We tell all the good stuff there. I don't tell anything good. I just teach about painting. I don't give the secrets away. You can't get secrets out of me. So until not next week, but later, we'll talk to you and go have an apocalyptic taco. Taco.
Talkpocalypse.
Apocalypse. Oh, that's like eating 8 tacos.
That
Bye.
Bye.